Shalom, Most High in Christ bless. Officer Hezekiah from IUIC Savannah, coming to you for another class. And the name of this class is going to be Stop the Balloon. Not Pop the Balloon, like some videos that are trending on social media. Pop the Balloon, you know, the little show where people are trying to figure out if they can be a good match, and they're popping balloons if they agree that they'll be a good match. No. This class is called Stop the Balloon, because the foolishness happening on this show, we got to put a stop to it, right? This show is just indulging on some of the stereotypes and the dysfunction that's present in the black and brown community, in the Israelite community, according to the Bible. That's who y'all are. Let's play the first clip. So for those that may not be familiar with the pop the balloon craze or what's been going on, because you got a main show and then you got quite a few copycats, right? So we got some clips to show you about the show. Play clip number 1.
Y'all can pop whenever y'all feel like y'all want to pop, y'all. Did you just help him?
Now I want you to.
I'm not disrespecting her.
We're gonna play clip number 1 again. I want you to pay attention to the atmosphere of what's going on. Because remember, the premise is these people are on this show to potentially match with somebody and to find a mate, to find somebody to match with, to be with, right? The idea should be marriage, but really it's fornication. Now watch. Now the female coming out, she's the one who is being who's there to pick. But the people in line, the men in line, can decide if they even want to be considered by her. And if they don't, they'll pop their balloon, right? So they're just seeing each other for the first time. Play that clip again.
Y'all can pop whenever y'all feel like y'all want to pop, y'all.
Everybody popping. Then the one guy that didn't pop, somebody else popped him. And the host, I guess he's the host with the mic on this one, he laughing. Now, how do you think that makes the young lady feel if she's out there trying to get picked? Or what are the guys saying, how they feel about the young lady? And this is their first interaction, right? The first interaction already has a lot of subtext to it that is contentious. It's people are really, this platform is being used to mock people, right? Read Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4, and then we're going to show another clip. Here's why we're touching on this, right? The class called Stop the Balloon is because our people, even if they're not on this show, this is how they behave in real life. When they meet people, as soon as they meet somebody, they're trying to figure out, do they like them? Do they not like them? Well, you don't know anything about them to like them or not like them. You just know what you see, and you're making an important decision like who to be with. You can't just make that off of only how they look, right? Read Hebrews 13 and 4.
Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all.
What's honorable in all?
Marriage is honorable in all.
The goal of meeting somebody, and I'm saying that in a polite way, should be marriage, right? So that should be your thought when you go, hey, I'm going to meet this person, and then I'm going to decide if this is somebody I can see myself working towards marriage with. Read.
And the bed undefiled.
And then at that point, having sexual relations is clean in the eyes of God. It should only be with your spouse, a husband with his wife and a wife with the husband. Read.
But whoremongers.
But who?
But whoremongers.
A lot of these people on these shows are whoremongers. The men are whoremongers. But to have a whoremonger, they have to be whores. So as we see, like in the first clip, how the young lady was dressed, that's not how a modest woman dresses. That's how a whore dresses, all right? And we got to say some of these words exactly as they're written in the Bible to shake our people out of this foolishness. Read that verse again.
Marriage is honorable in all. And the bed undefiled.
Come on.
But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge.
You know one of the ways whoremongers and adulterers get judged? It's in the results of their bad decision making. And that bad decision making can be based on the factors you use to even pick somebody to be around, right? Play clip number 2. The idea is, as the Israelites, we should be trying to rebuild our community. We should be trying to rebuild the nation. But the household and the marriage is the foundation of that nation. And how you meet your spouse. This is not it. Play clip 2.
I'm not disrespecting her. I'm just telling you.
I'm just telling you what they look like.
I'm just telling you what they look like. You look like the type that, like, like smoke cigarettes.
I don't smoke cigarettes.
I say you look like.
I don't even smoke weed.
You look like.
I don't even smoke weed.
You look like the type.
Look how contentious it already is. Look how the women on the so-called on the panel address. Look how the women on the panel address. Look at the brother, how he's addressing the woman. Would you even think, if this is your first meeting, that this relationship, listen, everything after your first meeting is downhill, technically. When you first meet somebody, that's the best foot forward you're getting of that person. And 9 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, that's the best foot forward you're getting out of that person. As you get to know somebody, I'm not saying that person is evil as you get to know them, but you would think you're seeing the best of that person when you first meet them. For that interaction to be so contentious already, there's no way trying to explore a relationship here will prove fruitful. Read Hebrews 13:4 again.
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all.
So marriage is honorable. Marriage is honorable from start to finish. The start we just saw up there, that's not a start to marriage. That's a start to failure. That's where you learn to hook up and break up. That's where you learn divorce. Read.
And the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge.
But now we got to ask ourselves, we're going to go to Luke chapter 7, verse 31. We got to ask ourselves, why do our people, because when you see a lot of these clips, you may see some of the nations kind of sprinkled in, but these clips really make their traction. They really get their views off of us, our foolishness, how we interact with each other, in a terrible way, where we're tearing each other down, we're cutting each other up, where we make crazy decisions on if somebody is the type of person you should interact with. And these videos get traction because other people tune in to see the drama. But what is it about us? Read Luke 7:31. There's something about us that we enjoy this stuff. Read.
Luke chapter 7, verse 31. And the Lord said, whereunto then shall I liken the men of this generation?
So the Lord's going to make a comparison of our generation to something else. What is he going to compare the men of this generation to? Read.
And to what are they like? They are like unto children.
They're like unto what?
Children.
This is children stuff up here. Even so much so, now, I don't know about any of y'all, but I knew when I was a kid, outside of the commandments, I wasn't raised up in the scriptures. I had to repent as an adult and learn the Bible now. When I was coming up as a child, bad little children had a game called House. They playing House. They playing Mommy and Daddy, right? And then to play Mommy and Daddy, they arguing with each other. They saying who gonna pay what bill. They're reflecting the dysfunction they see growing up. So you see these adults, I'm sure they're all adult age, they're reflecting the dysfunction that they've become accustomed to. Confrontational, argumentative, cutting somebody down, not building somebody up, like children. Read that verse again.
They are like unto children sitting in the marketplace and calling one to another.
Calling one to another. Now, I'm coming here to say, hey, calling one to another. They taking a clip and sharing it with all their friends. Put it on Facebook. Hey, man, you saw this? Watch this. Oh, man, what's going on here? It's all a game to us. That's how we think like children. Read.
And saying, we have piped unto you.
We have sung unto you. We're speaking unto you. Read.
And ye have not danced.
And you not getting excited over it like we getting excited over it. Read. We
have more to you.
The stuff that we find offensive. Read.
And ye have not wept.
And you look at us like that's not even a big deal. When we as the repentant look at this video, we go, this is the wrong way to do things. We're not happy to see this. We're upset to see it because you can't rise above the estate of your people. If our people are seen in this light, the nation see all of us this way, that we're all that dysfunctional in how we deal, how we talk to each other, how we meet each other. We're like children that play games. Watch this. Give me the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 27, verse 13. Because we're talking about we're playing games. Going on a Pop the Balloon show and you call yourself trying to meet somebody, you playing games. If you really mean you trying to meet somebody, you playing games. We're going to read that in the scripture about playing games. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 27, verse 13.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 27, verse 13.
Go on.
The discourse of fools.
The discourse of fools, the speech, the conversation of fools, read.
Is irksome.
It should be irksome to us. We should be the type that we don't want to hear nonsense like this. We don't even want to participate in nonsense like this. Read.
And their sport is in the wantonness of sin.
Their sport, how they play, how they find enjoyment. We read earlier in Luke about being kids who pipe and sing and dance. Their sport, the conversation of fools, their sport is what? Read that again.
Their sport is the wantonness of sin.
Wantonness or sexual desires of sin. That's their sport. That's how they play. That's how they get down. We even call it now when you're trying to get somebody, how much game you got. We call it game. But you doing what with the game? Fornication. That's your sport. That's what you like to do. So now you in here, you all on TV, on YouTube, playing games in front of everybody on the internet. How do we recover from this as a people? We are tarnishing the image of us as a race. And God chose you to be his chosen people. This is not what we're supposed to be doing. It's terrible. This is going to lead to more terrible, broken homes, right? Give me the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9, verse 16. If this is how we're meeting people, and then we're deciding to pop the balloon as soon as they... Now, sometimes on some clips, as soon as somebody comes from behind the curtain, people immediately pop balloons. Pop, 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 pop. You haven't even given the person a chance to speak, to hear what's even inside them, right? And they'll be the first ones to tell us, oh, you can't judge, you can't judge, you can't judge. And as soon as a contestant comes out, everybody with a balloon go to judging. And you just hear balloon pops everywhere. You're guessing. What does the Bible say about guessing? Do you guess right or do you guess wrong most of the time? Wisdom of Solomon 9 and 16.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9 and verse 16.
Come on.
And hardly do we guess aright.
Who what?
And hardly do we guess aright.
And we're going to show you an example in this class how even when people do match on these shows, it goes terrible. They do the follow-up interview. The outing was terrible. The date was terrible. The conversation was contentious the whole time because you guessing and you don't really get it right. You choosing based on the wrong factors. So now you choose somebody, but when you have to actually go out and the qualities that make a successful relationship, like interests, goals, plans for the future, ideals, these are the things you're supposed to be trying to figure out. Do they serve the Most High God? Do they love God? Do they keep the commandments? Do they understand they're an Israelite according to the Bible? You're not checking for none of this stuff. You're guessing, and you're guessing wrong. Read that verse again.
And hardly do we guess aright.
So hardly, very rarely do you guess and get it right. Because I know somewhere, there's a comment somewhere, there's a video somewhere. Well, I met ABC's spouse, and we've been married for 20 years now. It worked out for us. Fantastic. I pray y'all are keeping the commandments. You know you're Israelites, you congregate, and you serve the Most High God and his son, Jesus Christ. However, for most of our people, that's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. We're going to show you some more examples. Play clip 3.
Name, how old you are?
I'm Taylor, I'm 28.
And why'd you end up popping your balloon, Taylor?
I can just kind of tell that we just wouldn't have chemistry.
Stop. Hold on, stop. I was just going to let it play, but they're asking her, why did she pop her balloon? So the brother right here, he's the one who is potentially, he's going to choose from the lineup of women who he intends to take out on a date, and they'll try to see if there's something there. But the people that pop their balloon, they'll go through the line and interview them. Like, hey, why'd you pop your balloon? So she popped her balloon. The brother hasn't even really spoke yet. And she's, I can tell we wouldn't really have any chemistry. How? Did you have a conversation to figure this out? How do you know you won't have any chemistry? That's not the real reason why you popping the balloon. Why are we lying? You have a reason why you popped the balloon, and we're about to find out. Play.
We're cool people, yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and now is Taylor your type?
Nah.
Okay, why not?
The hat really thrown me off, the Willy Wonka thing. I don't really
Stop. Now, a part of what we see on these screens, people get hurt through rejection. They may not say it out loud, like they might not say they hurt because somebody popped the balloon, but there's a little bit of like, oh man, she popped the balloon on me. I got to get my get back. Oh yeah, I ain't good enough for you? Well, guess what? Uno reverse, you ain't good enough for me. Your hat, you look like Willy Wonka. Why? What was that? That wasn't called for. If this is how they're first interacting, you can imagine if they had decided that they would have good chemistry. No, they wouldn't. This is them. This is them in their complete dysfunction, and the ignorance of not knowing who they are according to the Bible, and their ignorance of not knowing how to pick somebody for a relationship. Play.
The Willy Wonka thing. I don't really like it like that. I like the I like the dreads, the two that's showing right
Okay,
here.
well,
That's
the
nice.
back of your head is ridiculous, sir.
Now she's taking shots back at him. Now she's taking shots back at him. What is going on here? And the host is in the middle. Oh, yeah. Mike over here. Mike over there. Mike over here. Mike. And you got to understand, if this show was really about putting people together, eventually they wouldn't have a show. Everybody would just come on, get put together, and the show would be over with. But when you can profit off the continued cycle of our destroyed mindset, they get clip after clip after clip, week after week after week. I guarantee there's no script. It's just, okay, here's a mic, and we'll let the foolishness of the people themselves play itself out. There ain't no script here. Read? Oh, no, play. My bad, play.
If you want to talk about hats, you need a hat.
I'll be honest with you. It's flat, you feel what I'm saying? But I don't really care about the back of my head. I care about the front, but it's all good. Hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate people.
You didn't have to come for me. Willy Wonka's pretty sweet. So.
I love Willy Wonka. It's actually one of my favorite movies. I just didn't like the hat. That's all it is.
Hold on,
But I
stop
fucks with
this.
you.
Now, she called him out. She said, you didn't have to come for me. Calling her hat a Willy Wonka hat, she understood that was a slight at her. It was a backhanded slight. And now she called him out on it. He's like, no, that what? Yes, it was. What are you talking? We all, look at her right there in the back. She's skinning and grinning. She know exactly what it was. It was a slight. And the chick called him out on it. Now he back. But listen, if that was your stance, brother, stand on it. But like children, we playing games, we guessing. Our whole goal to be here is wrong, is off. This would have never worked anyway. The lying, attacking each other in conversation already. This would have been doomed to fail from the start, right? Play clip 4. And this is what our people are doing. We are, like we just read in the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9, verse 16, hardly do we guess aright. We hardly guess aright, right? Play clip 4.
I'm Paige.
Paige, how old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
Hold on,
Okay,
stop.
and what do you do?
I want you to notice Paige has a Christian cross around her neck. What's the Christian church doing? Ain't the Christian church supposed to have a singles ministry, a couples ministry? Why does somebody who's a self-professed Christian have to come on this show to find somebody? So Christianity, I'm always taking shots at Christianity. Y'all suck. All right? Play the video.
I'm Paige.
Paige, how old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
Okay, and what do you do?
I'm a grad student in an occupational therapy program.
Go ahead and pop. Eddie, why'd you have your balloon on?
Now, pause it. For those not familiar, if you don't pop your balloon, the person with the mic can come up and pop your balloon and say, well, I don't want you in the running, right? So that brother was still holding his balloon, and truth be told, because he's looking at her body, he said, hey, shit, I'm going to hold on to my balloon because I'm trying to hold on to another balloon. Don't our people be playing like we don't see what's happening? She say, nope, the only balloon you're going to hold is that one. Bop. Play.
Yeah, I like your smile. I wanted to hear a little bit more.
Hold on, stop.
Get to know you a little
Man, I keep interrupting it. I like your smile. I like your smile. Really, that's your best response? Play.
bit more. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So what do we end up popping his?
The only thing is I understand I'm short. I get that. I am pretty short, and I'm shorter, you know, but it's just you're short too.
Hold on. Remember, read Wisdom Solomon 9:16 again. Read it again. This is what we're talking about in the scriptures. Are you going to base whether or not a man is a man of character on his height? You can't be serious right now. Read.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9, verse 16.
Uh-huh.
And hardly do we guess aright.
Hardly do you guess aright. Hardly do you guess aright. Read.
At things that are upon the earth.
That's things upon the earth. Interacting with things upon the earth. If you're going to make a decision to go right or go left, to do this or do that, who to speak to, hardly do we guess aright. How do we hardly guess aright? Look at the parameters we use to guess or to make that choice. When you're making a guess, you don't have information, right? If you were informed, it wouldn't be a guess. But you're guessing because you don't have the information you need. So, his height, he's too short. Too short for it. Play the clip.
The only thing is I understand I'm short. I get that. I am pretty short, and
Yes,
I'm
he's
shorter, you know, but it's just you're short too. So, That's it.
Okay. And how tall are you?
I'm like 4'11".
Oh my God.
Hold on, stop.
Okay.
Wait a minute. She's 4'11". How tall is the guy play?
How tall are you again, Eddie?
5'9".
Hold on, wait. He's 5'9". He is almost a foot taller than her. The nerve for somebody to be 4'11" and call somebody else short. This is unbelievable. Oh, you're not tall enough. Sister, he's almost a foot taller than you. But hey, I need a stupid reason to say, you know what? I may not like his look or I don't like his dress. Some stupid reason she wants to pick somebody. But she knows she can't say that because she understands it makes her look stupid. But she lacks enough understanding to know that this makes her look stupid too. Play.
Okay.
Well, oh man, and you see the clip at the bottom. Even the person that put this clip together had that, bam, had the head slap. Like, no, this can't be real. Play.
9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen,
I know, but you see, like,
see what?
Now she got to
Look
prove a
over your
stupid
head.
yeah, but I can't, like, look
He's a
up.
foot taller than you. Yes, you can look straight up. Oh God, I can't. Take it off the screen. Read John chapter 7, verse 24. This stop the balloon. That's the name of the class. Stop the balloon. Jeez. It's got to stop. You want to be with somebody, whether man with woman, woman with man, that's in the Bible. It's permissible as marriage. But there's a process for that. To get it done productively and correct, there's a process already prescribed to us in this Bible. Not on these stop the balloon, not on these pop the balloon shows. I'm going to call them stop the balloon shows because that's what we're talking about today. Stop the balloon shows, right? Read what you got, John 7:24.
John chapter 7, verse 24. Judge not according to the appearance.
Do what?
Judge not according to the appearance.
The Bible instructs us to not judge just only on the appearance. Can you get some information from how something looks? Yes. Should that be the only information you use to come to a final judgment? No. Read that again.
Judge not according to the appearance.
Come on.
But judge righteous judgment.
In order to judge righteous judgment, you would have to have information at hand that at first is righteous. You want righteous information. You want to come from the scriptures. Is this person a godly person? Do they love God? Are they helping to rebuild the nation of Israel? Are they kingdom-minded? Do they have the mind of a revolutionary, man or a woman? These are the things you want to judge on. Is this where I want to build a relationship? But we don't do that. We're judging it on style and outfits and haircuts and accessories, all stuff that can change, all stuff that's easier to change than the inside. The inside, those qualities, if somebody's got bad qualities, if they're not willing to apply these scriptures, it's hard to change those things. I would say impossible to change them. But somebody's clothing style, they can change that. Somebody's accessories, they can change that. Now that brother height, he can't change that. That's wild. Listen, I'm gonna say he's a foot taller than her. He's a foot taller than her, right? Get the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26, verse 23. When a lot of our people do these type of shows, Stop the Balloon, or I'm going to go on Hip Hop and Love, The Flavor of Love, I'm going to go in a house with 30 other contestants to get the love of one person, guess what you really are involved in? You're involved in a game of evil and wickedness. All you're going to win is the affection of a wicked person. Ecclesiasticus 26:23.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 and verse 23.
Uh-huh.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
Hold on, wait a minute. I didn't know I took off time from work. I brought an airplane ticket. I flew over to the studio to record this episode, and I did all this to get a wicked person? According to the Bible, yes. Read that again.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
You know how a wicked woman and a wicked man get together? Because they hardly guess it right. They choose the wrong factors to pick somebody to be involved with, and that's how they get together. They don't know what to look for. They don't know red flags. They don't understand green flags, the things you should look for. They don't understand what to build a relationship on. So what happens? The wickedness inside you lines up with the wickedness inside that person, and y'all get together, and then it's dysfunctional. It's dysfunctional. Read that again.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
Come on.
But a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord.
A godly woman understands there's a godly process to being with somebody, and that somebody's a godly man, and vice versa. To be godly, you're going to do things in a godly way. To be wicked, you're going to do things in a wicked way. What have we seen in a few of these clips that we've shown so far? People behaving. All we've seen in these clips is an inkling of their wickedness. We haven't seen a party feel anger against the other party and how they might react in a wrong way or lash out. We haven't even seen it get that far yet. This is just them seeing each other and talking on a show with somebody in between them. And you already see there's no constructive criticism going on. There's no cordial greetings going on. There's no quote unquote agree to disagree going on. Okay, you know what? We might not be a good match. I understand that. There's none of that. It's everybody getting offended by everybody else. Like, who are you to turn me down? That's what you see a lot of the times. Who are you with your short self? Sis, he's a foot taller than you. Yeah, but he's short. He's short next to a guy that's 8 feet tall. Everybody's short to a guy that's 8 feet tall. But the guy in front of you, who may be the exact man you need in your life, you're going to disqualify him based on his height? It's foolishness. Go to the book of Ecclesiastes 6 and verse 7. And then we're going to play clip 5. So we're going to start transitioning into how do you correctly pick somebody, right? So say somebody is out in the midst of this, or they were interested in it, but in the back of their mind, they do intend to be with somebody in a proper functioning relationship. Okay, we can point out the foolishness of these clips all day long, but unless we start giving instruction on how to not use that as how you pick, right? So now we're going to start moving into how do we figure out how to pick somebody correctly, or what should we have our parameters centered on, right? Read what you got.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 6 and verse 7.
If
thou wouldest get a friend.
If thou would get us a what?
A friend.
If thou would get a friend. Isn't there a term called the friend zone? Oh, so she put him in the friend zone. And that typically means that's somebody she will not entertain as possible husband material. But the Bible says to prove a what? Read.
If thou wouldest get a friend.
If thou would get a friend,
prove him first.
The Bible instructs us that you should be looking for a friend. That's what you should be looking for. A friend, you're going to have similar likes. Some of the things you don't like will be similar. You'll have conversation you can have with each other. You'll be more inclined to build with one another, right? Read.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
So prove them, but it's supposed to be according to this Bible. You prove them according to the law, statutes, and commandments in this Bible and their belief in the Bible. Read.
And be not hasty to credit him.
And don't be what?
And be not hasty to credit him.
You know how we get hasty to credit people? When it's our type. Oh, yeah, she my type. What you mean your type, brother? What you mean? Explain. What is your type? Have you had your type before? And has it worked for you? Oh, it hasn't? So maybe you should change your type. Is your type dysfunction? Because that's what's happening. If it hasn't worked for you, your type is really dysfunction. You like this crazy stuff. Same thing for the sisters. Oh, he's my type. Okay, sis, he's your type. Is that why he left you with 2 children? Is your type the type that runs out on you and abandons you? That's your type? We picking for our type and not picking for what's right. Read that again.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him.
So pump your brakes, sisters. If the guy's got green eyes, he's 6'9" with the braids and the light cocoa skin, pump your brakes. Don't be hasty to credit him. Brothers, if she got the nice Coca-Cola shape, the vase, every time she walk, you hear drums going off. Boom, 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 boom. 1, check your spirit. Control your lust. And 2, prove them according to the scriptures. That side of the room looking at this side of the room. That side of the room looking at this side of the room. The screen is up here. The scriptures is up here. Class is up here. All eyes up here. Read that verse again.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
Come on.
And be not hasty to credit him.
Go to, in the same book, chapter 37, verse 12. What are you proving in that person, right? What are you proving? Because listen, I just had a side thought. What are you proving? Listen, the world out here today in 2025, hey, You damn near trying to prove, is this even a woman you looking at?
Damn.
The birth certificate might be a brother. You really, hey, you hardly guessing right out here. Didn't we read that earlier? You hardly guessing it right. You looking at all the wrong things that could be put on somebody in a lab. Like a car drives into a garage. The brother drives into a garage and they put on breast and booty and wig and come out. And because you picked for all the wrong reasons, whew, listen, so Ecclesiastes 37:12. What are you proving for?
Ecclesiasticus chapter 37 and verse 12.
Uh-huh.
But be continually with a godly man.
You're proving to see if this person is godly. You're proving to see if they're godly. But how can you know if they're godly if you ain't godly? And how can you be godly if you're not learning the words of God? That's how you're going to learn to be godly. That's how you're going to prove if they're godly. That's how you're going to make sure you ain't getting with no woman that was born a man or no man that was born a woman. It's crazy out here in these streets in 2025. We are at the end of the world. You want to prove a godly person because this person may very well be the person you have to experience the end of the world with. Play this clip right here. So this next clip, sometimes on the show when people do match, when they successfully match, they go on their little date. And then they agree to come back on the show and do a post interview about how the date went, right? So here's two people that matched on the show, but we're going to hear a clip of how their date went. And like we've been talking about earlier, they hardly guessed it right. Things went terrible on their little date, right? So we're going to start at 10 minutes and 5 seconds, and we're going to stop at 11 minutes and 10 seconds.
And I didn't appreciate it, but the objective of the show was to go on the date. And it just made me feel a little opportunistic of your objectives, because prior to that, if you want to talk about everything, prior to that, you had sat here and asked me to model for your company. I thought that was rude.
You said you was a content creator.
I didn't say I was a model and then I was going to come model.
But if I'm trying to put money in your pocket, what's wrong with that?
You didn't mention a thing about...
I wasn't trying to do anything.
Hold on, stop. Look at the body language. Does this look like they had a great first date? No. You know from start to finish, it was arguing. Who is this? Why you ain't responding? Why you responding too fast? Why you ain't pick up the tab? Why you ain't do this? Why you talk to me like that? Look at the body language. And this is two people that matched. They matched. So you would think they were going into this optimistic that this is going to, we're going to get along and vibe. Like she said at the beginning of the clip, the goal was to go out on the date, right? This does not look like two people that had a great time on that date. Keep playing.
Because prior to that, if you want to talk about everything, prior to that, you had sat here and asked me to model for your company. I thought that was rude.
You said you was a content creator.
I didn't say I was a model and then I was going to come model.
But if I'm trying to put money in your pocket, what's wrong with that?
You didn't mention a thing about...
I wasn't trying to do anything for free, sweetheart.
But
you said you was a content creator. Like, I'm confused.
So when was this asked? When did you ask?
It was damn near at the beginning.
Sunday.
At the beginning.
Right away.
So she said she was a content creator.
So we filmed Saturday, and then you asked her Sunday if she wanted to model for your business.
Monday, it was...
How they already need a mediator to talk to each other. How is the lady in the middle having to translate, having to calm the conversation down to where they're recapping an experience they shared together and can't even do that? She... the woman on the right, she rolling her neck already. Her eyes is fluttering. It's like, sister, keep your eyes where they at and quit moving your neck. And the brother already has that kind of, that defeated posture like, damn, the sister was fine. I thought this thing was going to work out. But, man, she crazier than I thought. And she looking like, I thought I had a sucker that I could rule over, that I could lord over and run him over. And it's because of how they got together or how they met each other through this Pop the Balloon show, it was dysfunctional from the start, and we're seeing it right here. Keep playing.
Damn near at the beginning.
Sunday.
At the beginning.
Right away.
So she said she was a content creator.
So we filmed Saturday, and then you asked her Sunday if she wanted to model for your business.
Monday, it was pretty early.
Okay.
Yeah, to me, it just really gives, like, you're opportunistic. Like, that's what it gives. I just feel like 3 strikes you're out. For you, it was just a couple weird interactions. Yeah, you asked me to model. You didn't mention anything about money for you to say.
I did tell you that over the phone, that I
had no
problem
but
paying
upon, may I finish speaking?
Go ahead.
Since you wanted to, overtalk me.
Stop. Okay. Listen. She don't like that over talk. She don't like it. Listen, she think black men are just niggas to her. She don't like that over talk. He's like, damn, was I really about to put up with this to get with that? Yes, because you're acting like a child and you hardly guess right and you don't choose based on the Bible. Yes, in your mind, the little mind, not the right mind, the little mind, you said, yeah. If I just put up with it for long enough, I'm going to get that thing. And she was like, not like that. No. Listen, this was doomed to fail from the start. So we're not doing this just to make fun of our people, right? We're touching on it to criticize it and then to give constructive solutions behind it, right? So our people have to learn what a relationship should even look like. Let's go to Hebrews 13:4. So we're going back to Hebrews 13:4, right? So our people have to learn what a relationship should look like. But in order to do that, you must learn what you should look like as the man and what she should look like as the woman. We have to learn our individual roles first. Then we come together to the marriage. Then we come together to the table. Could we hear that expression? What you bring to the table? The table should be marriage. That's the table. But in order to get to the table, you got to learn a few things first. Hebrews 13:4.
Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all.
Marriage is honorable in all. In the clip we just played, she mentioned that the goal of the show was to go on the date. The goal of meeting somebody should be marriage, not going on the date. Even the word date, it's a cute term today for fornication. It's a cute term for prostitution. That's what it is, to tell you straight. It's a cute term for prostitution. The goal should be marriage. Read this verse again.
Marriage is honorable in all.
And if you knew the goal should be marriage, perhaps you would make more serious decision-making. Perhaps your decision-making process would be a little bit more serious if you knew you were choosing for marriage instead of just a little fun date, right? Read.
And the bed undefiled.
And then at that time, sexual dealings with your spouse is undefiled, meaning it's okay in the eyes of God. Read.
But whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge.
You know what happens? You lay down with crazy, you get up with crazy. That's what happens. When you go into that bedroom with crazy and y'all lay down together, don't act like the other person was the only person that was crazy. We read earlier in the book of Ecclesiastes, God puts a wicked woman with a wicked man, and he puts a godly woman with a godly man. So if the other person was no good, if the other person was no damn good, Hebrews 13:4. Let's go to 1 Timothy 3. We're going to read verses 1 through 3. So we must learn our individual roles and what we bring to the table. What do you bring to the marriage? You're supposed to learn that as you grow up. From your youth to your adolescence to your teenage years to your young adult years, you're going to learn that from your father, your mother in the household, and from your community. And they're going to teach that to you based on the principles in the Bible, right? So we're going to touch on the man first and then the woman second and how they should be coming together in the beginning, right? So as a man, your individual role, what you bring to the table. Are you learning how to lead and preparing to provide, right? Read 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 3.
1 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1. This is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop.
Desiring the office of a bishop is desiring the office of a leader. You are the bishop of your household, or the household you seek to establish once you get married, once you come to the table. You would be the bishop or the leader of that house. Read.
He desireth a good work. A bishop then must be blameless.
So these are traits that you as the man should work on in yourself, right? Before you try to find somebody to bring to the table, work on yourself with these qualities. So now when up above, when we read to prove a friend, when the woman is trying to prove you according to God's commandments through conversation and through proper interaction, meaning you have a chaperone. You aren't just going out by yourself. A chaperone would have told that sister to cover up. She was dressed like a whore. A chaperone wouldn't have allowed that to go down. A chaperone would have made sure things stayed on the up and up, right? So as a man, so we're going to focus on the man first, the qualities to lead and become a good man to bring to the table. Keep reading.
A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife.
The goal should be marriage. Marriage is honorable, one wife. Read.
Vigilant.
Vigilant. Read.
Sober.
Sober.
Of good behavior.
You're reading how a man's mind should be. He should always be on the job, vigilant. He should be sober in doctrine. He should be sober in understanding, because you're the bishop of that house. We just said that. So you should be sober in teaching, because you're going to be responsible for teaching and guiding that house. So you as a young man would have been taught under your house and within your community. So now you learn how to be sober and be vigilant over your own house and teach any children that come out of your union. Keep reading.
Of good behavior.
Of good behavior. Read.
Given to hospitality.
Hospitality. Listen, some young men out here don't know anything about hospitality, and some women get with these men, and they're confused about why he hit me in the face with a skateboard. Because these YNs, ain't that what they call them, YNs? These YNs is YNing. They YNing, and ain't nobody winning, because we not learning these qualities. Read that again.
Of good behavior.
Come on.
Given to hospitality. Apt to teach.
Ooh, apt to teach. In order to teach, you got to read. How you going to teach something you ain't read nothing? You ain't read a math book, a history book. You ain't read God's book. So to be apt to teach, your little bad behind got to read. And some of you adults need to start reading too. Read.
Not given to wine.
So not being a drunkard. So this is how we know the sober up above means in mindset. Read.
No striker.
Meaning, when she makes you mad, because let's tell the truth, the women are the weaker vessel. And if you don't know how to not be emotional, you were raised in a single-parent household, you weren't taught the qualities of a man, how to control yourself, you may think striking somebody is a acceptable way to solve a conflict. She won't listen to me. Don't you rile me, woman. Listen, the Bible does not teach you to be no Ike Turner. All right? Read.
Not greedy of filthy lucre.
Not greedy of money. You just trying to hustle. You just want somebody to entrepreneur with. That's all you're worried about. We're going to be a good partnership. We're going to be a power couple. Talking about power couples, I think something's going on with the owners of the Turkey Leg Hut, and they breaking up. That it was a black husband and a black wife, a power couple. They being seen, the business is doing well, but behind the scenes, they weren't dealing right with each other. Not greedy of filthy lucre. Did they build their marriage on the foundations, on the qualities found in the Bible, or did they come together as a business opportunity? Read.
But patient.
But the man should be what?
Patient.
Learn to be patient. Read.
Not a brawler.
Not argumentative. Read.
Not covetous.
Not covetous. So these are qualities you want to see in yourself as a man, and you want other people to be able to see it through conversation. So when you're in that prove a friend stage, they can see these qualities within you, right? Go to 1 Timothy 5:8. So we're talking about a man. What does a man bring to the table? You're learning how to lead, and you're preparing to provide. That's what the man should be bringing to the table, among other things. Right? Of course, there's a long list of things when we go through the scriptures that men would primarily be responsible for in terms of financial or social responsibility, teaching in the household, the spiritual responsibility. We're touching the high notes right now, right? So learning how to lead and preparing to provide. Read 1 Timothy 5:8.
1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 8.
Come on.
But if any provide not for his own.
If you don't provide for your own household, when you come together to meet a woman to take as your wife, marriage is honorable above all, prove a friend. Now you're starting a household. If you don't provide for that household, read.
Especially for those of his own house.
Come on.
He have denied the faith.
He has what?
He have denied the faith.
You have denied the faith through your actions. You can say you believe, but you don't want to get up off the couch and go get a job, brother. You want her to go work all day. You want her, well, you got the degree, you went to college, I dropped out. You can make more money than me. I'm just going to stay home and play PlayStation all day. That's not the quality of a good leader. You should be willing. You should be the first to put your hand to the plow to make sure your house is taken care of. I'm not saying the wife can't work. That's something y'all talk about together between yourselves. But as a man, something in you should be like, I got to go out and make something in a lawful way, though. A lawful way. I got to go out and make something so I can provide for mine. That's how our forefathers moved. Jacob was ready to leave to provide for his household. He told Laban, how long before I can leave and go provide for my own? How long before I can stand on my own 2 feet? Read that again.
But if any provide not for his own, especially for those of his own house, he have denied the faith.
Now, I hear the woman who's watching. She's like, yeah, that's right. He got to pay all the bills. He got to do this, and he got to do that, and he got to pay the bills. That's right. Mm-hmm. Woman means help me. You supposed to, listen, if he got to pay the bills, guess who's supposed to be willing to help him pay the bills? Uh-oh. So, as a man, you should be learning to lead and preparing to provide. Now, as a woman, are you learning to be a helpmeet and to submit? To be a helpmeet and to submit. Go to the book of the Genesis, chapter 2, verse 18. And then we're going to go to chapter 3 and verse 16. So now we're touching on some things. The woman, here's when you ask a woman what you bring to the table, and I'm sure perhaps you've seen clips on social media where women are being asked what you bring to the table. They say, I am the table. I bring me. That. No, sister, the table is the marriage as a foundation for a nation. That's the table. What do you bring to the marriage, right? What qualities about you make you deserving for a man to protect, provide, guide, and lead you, right? Read what you got.
Genesis chapter 2 and verse 18.
So why was the woman made? Read.
And the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet.
I will make him a what?
An helpmeet.
No, I will make him a partner.
And helpmeet.
No, the Lord said, I'm going to make man a helpmeet, meaning a help good for him. Not bad for him. Some sisters are help that's bad. You in the reverse. You come to the table and you got all type of issues, past traumas. You ain't worked through nothing. You got a crazy ex that want to jump through the window and chop me in the back of the neck. You help in the reverse. You take. You should be learning how to put yourself in a position to be ready to help that man. Because that's what God created you for. That's a special role. That's a God-given role for you that only you can fulfill. Read that again.
And the Lord said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him and helpmeet for him.
Now go to chapter 3, verse 16.
Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16.
Because even the first helpmeet lost sight of that she's supposed to be helping. Read.
Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception.
Come on.
In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children.
We talking about the woman should learn to be a helpmeet to bring it to the table. What he reading this for? Be patient, follow me. Read.
And thy desire shall be to thy husband.
Thy desire shall be what?
Thy desire shall be to thy husband.
For every sister that thinks you don't need a man, read that again.
And thy desire shall be to thy husband.
Come on.
And he shall rule over thee.
The scriptures say your desire shall be to your husband, meaning you need that man. He's going to rule over you. But in ruling over you, we just discussed some of the traits the man should be learning to bring to the table, learning how to lead, to rule over you, and learning how to provide. This is not, oh, you want me to be a slave and not have an opinion, and I can't have my own mind. No, sis, your mind should be after these scriptures to begin with anyway. But when you're picking correctly, you don't have to worry about submitting to somebody who will abuse that authority. But when you want to pop the balloon show, you hardly guessing it right. Stop the balloon. Stop it. All right? So you should be learning how to be a helpmeet, because that's what you were made for, and understand that you need a man because you're supposed to go to him in want of all things, right? Go to Titus 2, verses 3 through 5. So some of the things the woman should be able to say, here's what I bring to the table. Here's what makes me a prize above the rest, right? Because all women got the same thing. Every woman think they got the golden ticket because it's sitting underneath their skirt between their legs. That's the golden. That's what I bring to the table. I bring that to the table. Listen, that comes stock out the factory. Everybody come with that. You ain't do nothing to come with that. Everybody come with that. But who comes with humility, grace, kindness in her tongue? That'll make a man, listen, you want a Birkin bag, learn how to speak right to the brother. You just might get the bag you want. Read what you got.
Titus chapter 2 and verse 3. The aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness.
So these are traits that you should be able to look to older women in your community and learn these things from. Why? Because the older woman should be the example that it works. And what happens is our community has been so dysfunctional for so long that we don't have many older women as the example to teach the younger women. But the Bible says there are older women on the earth who are still living this example to guide you as the younger woman, right? Read.
Not false accusers.
Not what?
Not false accusers.
Oh, not false accusers. Not always popping off at the mouth about things you don't know. Read.
Not given to much wine.
Not being no lush. That's the term I heard growing up. If a woman was a drunkard, you called her a lush. Not being no lush. Not always drunk, always falling over, can't keep your dress up. It's embarrassing, and it makes you vulnerable. Understand the world you live in. You're not supposed to be moving like this, sister. This makes you more able for somebody to take advantage of you. If you're bringing being a drunkard to the table, you're bringing a bill and liability to that man's life. That's nothing good to bring to the table. Keep reading.
Teachers of good things.
And you yourself would be a teacher of good things in the Bible. How to teach another young woman how to get a man, how to behave so that she can be selected, so she'll have a man, she'll have a husband, right? Read.
That they may teach the young women to be sober.
To be sober.
To love their husbands.
To love your husband. Love your husband, not your boyfriend, not your baby daddy, not your man, not your boo thing. To love your husband, because marriage is honorable in all. Read.
To love their children.
And to learn to love the children that come out of that marriage, because that's where children should be coming from. You should marry before you carry, right? Is that all?
Verse 5.
Yes, sir.
To be discreet.
To be what?
To be discreet.
To be discreet. Oh, God. Good. I'm glad we kept reading. To be discreet, not only in speech, but also in how you present yourself. I don't know no man that want his prized possession, because if you're a good woman, you that man's prized possession. I don't know no man that want his prized possession on display for the whole world, that just want her exposing herself, the neckline too low, the skirt line too high, the hip line too tight. Don't no man want you on display. Dress with some discretion. Dress with some modesty. Save that for that husband who has learned to properly lead you and provide you, and you save that for him at home, right? Read.
To be discreet. Chaste.
Chaste. Holy. Chaste. Holy. Read.
Keepers at home.
And keepers at home. Why all these women don't know how to cook? We can go to Chick-fil-A, McDonald's. I'll do DoorDash. What I got to learn how to cook for? I ain't your mama. Listen, the scriptures say learn how to be a keeper at home. You may not be a 5-star chef, but a brother can't get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? I can't get some bread, some peanut butter, and some Smuckers? Golly. You ain't got to be a 5-star chef, but be willing to bring. Listen, I heard, who was that actor? Anthony Mackie. He said, listen, bring daddy a sandwich. Make daddy a sandwich. Listen, make daddy a sandwich. Sister, okay, you ain't no 5-star cook. Fine. There's YouTube University, but fine. Bread, meat, cheese, condiments, bread. Give that man a sandwich or something to drink. Learn how to pick up at home. Learn how to change a bed sheet. Learn how to take the mattress and flip the mattress over. Open the window. Let the apartment air out. Let the house air out from time to time. Learn these things. Read that again.
To be discreet. Chaste. Keepers at home.
If you do these things, this man will go through hell and high water for you. You won't have to be like, he don't ever do nothing nice for me. He don't ever take me out. He'll be looking for opportunities to treat you good. He'll be like, man, I got something good at the house. Man. Read.
Good. Obedient to their husbands.
Obedient to your husband. That's you understanding you need that man. We read that in Genesis, that you need him. Read.
That the word of God be not blasphemed.
That the word of God be not blasphemed. So that marriage is honorable in all things. Get 1 Peter 3, 1-6. So we're still touching on what the woman's helping to bring to the table. So the man was bringing learning to lead according to the Bible and being prepared to provide for that household, for that woman and for the children that come out of that household. The woman should be learning how to be a helpmeet and how to submit, how to be obedient to that husband. Read what you got.
1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 1.
Yes, sir. And we're going to go to verse 6.
Yes, sir. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands.
Oh, man. Be in subjection to your own husband. Sisters, I want y'all to think. What do you bring to the table? It's 2025, right? 2025. You not put in no arranged marriage. Although arranged marriages, Your parents picking who you were going to be with in the Bible was how you protected yourself from all these bad decisions. But okay, let's take that and put it to the side. It's 2025. I'm going to do my own picking. Okay, listen. If you trust your ability to pick, why are you arguing with this man? Didn't you pick him? Why are you arguing with the decisions he made? You picked him. So if he made bad decisions, guess who made the first bad decision? The scriptures say be obedient. Read that again.
Likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husbands.
So there should be no issues with being in subjection to a man that you helped pick, right? Read.
That if any obeyed not the word.
So even if your husband is out the spirit, read.
They also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives.
He may come home one day from work mad and tight. Man, the nation's been oppressing us all day. He got to go do the work of the Lord. We arguing with the heathen in the street. We arguing with rebellious Israelites. And he may come home still fired up. It might be a little bit too more energetic for your taste. Say something a certain way. He didn't mean it out of hate. It could be something that still needed to be said. Now, don't get me wrong about that. But understand, you as the woman, you learning how to be his helpmeet. That's your Papa Bear. When Papa Bear come in the cave angry, you supposed to know how to rub Papa Bear down and get him right. Why you ain't learn how to use your wiles as a woman? Because you didn't go to that elder woman to learn how to love your husband. You didn't learn that. To learn how to be that secret ingredient that you know, if don't nobody else know how to calm him down, you know how to calm him down. So even if he's not obedient, your conversation should help bring him back. Read.
While they behold your chaste conversations coupled with fear.
Your chaste conversation put together with respect. Because let me tell it to you straight, sisters. If the man is a man is a man, you're not going to calm him down by challenging him. If I'm coming home from work, I'm coming home from out the world, the last thing you need to do is try to challenge me. Because listen, there's only one man in this house. There's only one hard leg in this house. Right? Read.
Who's adorning. Let it not be that outward adorning.
So you're adorning what makes you worthy to be picked. And you're talk trash about other women. You say, oh, she's being a pick-me. She's a pick-misha. Guess what? You're supposed to be a pick-misha. Otherwise, how do you get picked? I don't understand. What are we talking about online? How would you get picked if you're not a pick-misha? But how are you going to get picked? Because you're adorning what shines more than your outward appearance. Keep reading.
Who's adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair.
So because, you all jazzed up, you got the foundation, you got the concealer, you got the contour going on, you got the this, you got the that, you got the hair laying this way, you got the dress like this, you got the heels like that. Okay, but what should shine more than all of that? Read.
And of wearing of gold and of putting on of apparel.
Come on.
But let it be the hidden man.
The qualities from within. That's what that man should be able to find peace in. That's what you should be able to say you bring to the table, those hidden qualities. Read.
But let it be the hidden man of the heart, in that which is not corruptible.
That which is not corruptible, because you're standing on the scriptures. Read.
Even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit.
That meek and quiet spirit. You know what? The ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, that man don't have to stress out about if she watching social media and she going to act like the ratchet women she see on social media, because you're uncorruptible. That uncorruptible spirit, that meek adornment, that's what a man's looking for. You should be his peace. That's what you're supposed to be, a pillar of rest, not a pillar of stress. Keep reading.
Which is in the sight of God of great price.
Which is in the sight of God. So not only in the sight of that husband, but God is watching how you move. You think God's going to let you as his daughter be mistreated and you moving right? No. Read that again.
But let it be the hidden man of the heart.
Come on.
In that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of great price.
In any of those clips we showed earlier, did you see any women who showed forth that meek and quiet spirit, that ornament of God? Did you see that? Or did we just see their outward appearance, their clothing, their dress, how they stand, how they posture themselves? That's all we saw was that, right? Keep reading.
For after this manner, in old time, the holy women also, who trusted in God.
This is how holy women got picked as wives. This is how they chose husbands. This is how they got selected to be wives, right? They trusted in God. Read.
Adorned themselves, being in subjection to unto their own husbands.
Read 6.
Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham.
Come on.
Calling him Lord.
There's only one Lord. It's Jesus Christ. He's the only Lord. Listen, if you're choosing this man, because remember, it's 2025, right? If you're choosing this man, then he deserves that title because you're the one that's supposed to make sure he's deserving of that title. That's why you were willing to choose this man. So call that man Lord. Give him the respect of Lord. Call him Lord and give him the respect of Lord. You give your supervisor the respect of supervisor. You give your landlord the respect of landlord. You give the CEO the respect of CEO. And you could drop dead today and not your landlord, your CEO, your supervisor would care about you. But a husband would. Give that man that respect. Keep reading.
Whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well, and are not afraid with any amazement.
Play the next clip. We got 2 more clips and then a couple more scripts. 1 more clip and then a couple more scripts. My bad.
Saturday, what's your name?
Alvin like the Chipmunks.
Okay. How old are you?
This clip right here.
And what do you do?
Now
I'm
listen.
a server and I'm a
We got the reverse going on. Now it's a brother coming in and it's a whole line of women. And women are already popping the balloons. So remember, popping the balloon means they don't want to be considered to be picked. But what are they doing that based on? They're looking at the brother going, oh, well, look at his shirt, look at his shorts. Okay, perhaps the brother could have been in slacks or something a little bit more, or something not as casual. But aren't they supposed to be there to hear what the person's saying on the microphone to decide if y'all going to be a good match? The brother came out and they immediately started popping the balloons. Didn't even give the brother a chance to speak, to see what's within him. Play.
And what do you do?
I'm a server and I'm a bartender.
Okay.
I like kindness.
Okay.
Hold on.
I believe in.
He say I like kindness. Kindness is a trait you have to see. I can't look at you and say that's a kind person. I got to see how you behave. How do you talk? That's how I know if you're a kind person. He say I'm looking for kindness. Listen, all the women popping their balloon already, I guarantee these are pit snakes from the corners of hell. I guarantee these women will get in your life, swipe your card, tear your house up, kill your car, follow you to work. These women are crazy. I guarantee they're not kind. But this brother say he's looking for kindness. Unfortunately for him, as we've been discussing, he's not looking in the proper place. You're not going to find kindness here, right? Keep reading.
Yeah, I believe in. I don't like a mean person.
Got
He
it.
said, He said, I don't like a mean person, and somebody who still had a balloon immediately popped. What she know about herself? What does she know about herself? But we just read in the Bible that she's supposed to be meek, kind spirit, compassion, that ornament from God in the sight of God. That's what the scriptures say. She said, hell no, I'm mean as hell. Pop. If you're a real man, you can handle me. Ain't nobody trying to handle you. Toys get handled. Tools get handled. A woman's not supposed to be handled. You're supposed to be nurtured. Play.
I just don't think we will vibe out together, and your outfit just isn't my style.
Hold on, stop. Didn't we say that earlier? It's the outfit. It's got to be the outfit. Listen, we all have lived on this earth to a degree where we kind of have a sense of what's going on when we see something, and then you got to dig underneath the surface to see what's going on in its totality. But we get a sense of what's going on, that they popping him for his outfit. But they're giving him no credit for what he said he's looking for. Kindness, a good spirit. What's happening here? But then these same women will say, where are the good men at? Where the men at that was raised by their mamas? This might be a brother that was raised correctly, and you going, his outfit can change. Maybe you could be the one to jazz him up a little bit. Maybe you could be the one to hip that brother to some style. Nah, he don't look like a roughneck already. Play.
And your outfit just isn't my style.
Shay, 27, the compatibility, just kind of your hobbies doesn't align with mine.
Hi, my name is Naila.
His hobbies, right? His hobbies. Well, what? Listen, I know a brother. I knew him in the spirit a long time ago. I knew a brother in the spirit a long time ago who knew a woman who said his hobbies were too boring. She was like, it just, I know where you're at and what you're doing, so I don't get why I'm angry. Some women like the dysfunction. They like having to chase the brother down all around town. You at the club, you here, you that. for you to be where you say you're going to be at, they don't know what to do with themselves. They say, what do I do with my hands? I'm used to hitting them. I'm used to typing on the phone. I'm used to cussing them out. This is an upstanding young man. I don't know what to do with myself anymore. Play.
24. I ended up popping my balloon just because of your wardrobe choice. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man.
What did you say you do for work?
For work, I'm a server and a bartender. I work 2 jobs.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's why I popped. I couldn't hear you when you first came out, so I had to ask the other lady. That's why I was kind of delayed. I'm looking for more of like stability and like a provider, and I don't see that in like a server or a bartender. No, you know what I mean?
Hold on, stop. It's man. What you see how the whole panel, every woman said something about his clothing. Listen, these hyenas think alike. They think, and you brothers, because y'all want to pick them for the wrong reasons, you're going to get a hyena. That's what you're going to get. A wicked woman for a wicked man, but a godly woman is set aside for a godly man, right? Go to the book of Ecclesiastes 25:1. Choosing a mate, choosing a spouse is a spiritual decision, not a physical one. It seems like it's a physical one. That's what they're doing, is basing it on physical factors alone, or that's the primary reason for yay or nay. But choosing a mate is a spiritual decision, not a physical one. The book of Ecclesiastes 25:1.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 and verse 1. In 3 things I was beautified and stood up beautiful, both before God and men.
So these things are beautiful before God and men, right? Read.
The unity of brethren.
The unity of brethren. So brethren that know how to get along, right? Read.
The love of neighbors.
The love of neighbors, community, right? Read.
A man and a wife that agree together.
A man and a wife that agree together. Agree on what? Agree on the scriptures. Agree on the Bible. Agree on prophecy. Agree on our identity in the scriptures. Agree on what we're supposed to be doing on this earth. Agree on how to raise up a nation by starting with whole houses being rebuilt properly. A man and a woman that agree together. If thou gettest a friend, prove them first. When you're friends, you agree on stuff. How many people are friends and you never agree on nothing? Y'all ain't friends then. You agree because you're friends. There's a friendship there, right? So choosing a mate is spiritual, not physical. The physicals play a part, yes, because even the scriptures say a man loves the beauty of a woman. I'm not saying you can't choose somebody you find attractive on the outside. Nobody's saying that. But for that to be the primary reason you get into this relationship or try to prove a friend, you're doing it wrong. The intangibles, the inside, the hidden man, the hidden woman, that makes the difference on whether this relationship will thrive and survive or whether it's going to die, right? So go back to Ecclesiastes 6 and 7. You know you agree by talking. That's how you know you agree. You got to talk or prove, right? So we refer to it here as a proving process. Oh, we're proving, right? Read what you got again.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 6 and verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
Prove them first. Read.
And be not hasty to credit him.
And allow the relationship you're trying to nurture, give it time to breathe. Don't be hasty. Give it time to breathe, all right? Like, you know, like when you do stuff, when you bake bread, you have to let it rise, let the dough rise. When you cook something, you're supposed to take it out the oven and allow it to rest before you cut it. Like when you do certain types of cooking, there's times where you have to let the things breathe or you have to let it rest for the best result. Let this relationship have room to breathe. Don't be hasty to credit one another. Read that again.
If thou wouldest get a friend,
come on,
prove him first. And be not hasty to credit him.
Don't be hasty to credit that person. And we're going to go back to another one we read earlier too. Ecclesiastes 37 and 12. Read that one again. And this sounds redundant. It sounds on repeat. But guess what? We're people that we need this stuff on repeat. We need the basics repeated to us on repeat so that we're doing the basics, right? So you're proving a friend. What are we proving them for? Read.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 37 and verse 12.
Come on.
But be continually with a godly man.
Be continually with a godly man. So remember, if you hear something called like the vows you take when you get married, the wedding vows, for richer, for poorer, for better or worse, till death do us part, replace the death do us part with continually. Because if something's happening continually, it's happening continually until death do you part. Because that's the only thing that would stop you from continuing in that. But somebody who continually keeps the commandments, read that again.
But be continually with a godly man.
Come on.
Whom thou knowest to keep the commandments.
And you would know he keeps the commandments. You would know she keeps the commandments by you keeping the commandments, you learning the commandments, you doing the commandments, and you talking about the commandments. Read.
Who keep the commandments of the Lord.
Come on.
Whose mind is according to thy mind.
How do you know what's on somebody's mind? By talking, by proving, by having conversation. Read.
And will sorrow with thee.
And will be there with you in the bad.
If thou shalt miscarry.
Because, listen, what's going to prove that marriage is when the bad things happen. Go to 1 Corinthians 7, I think it's verse 29? Verse 28, right? I didn't have that one written down, but it just popped up. So we read that one right here. Who will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry. You want somebody that's going to be there with you through the good and the bad. Listen, if you're sick and in the hospital, you want somebody who, do you want somebody who's going to leave you on the hospital bed or somebody who wants to be there beside you on the hospital bed? Eventually, we all get old. You want to be with somebody who's going to help you get up when you need help getting up, or help you sit down, or help you put things together. Listen, life is about help. Even the woman was called a help meet. We're supposed to be helping each other. Read what you got.
1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 28.
Come on.
But if thou marry.
If thou marry, read.
Thou hast not sinned.
That's not a sin to marry. We treat getting married like a sin now. But, oh, brother, you got married? Why'd you get married? Oh, man, she could take half your stuff now. You already treating the marriage like it's failed. You treating marriage like it's a sin because you're only looking at the negative effects of bad marriages. That's what you're looking at, the negative effects of bad marriages. Read.
And if a virgin marry, she have not sinned.
Come on.
Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh.
Nobody's perfect. You're two imperfect people trying to learn to be perfect according to the scriptures, and you're coming together to try to learn to move as two souls becoming one. That's not going to happen perfectly and without issues. But if you're people that keep the commandments, you can work through the issues, right? We're looking for relationships to be no issues at all, and that's not true. But if you were building it on a friendship, you would have already seen how y'all deal with issues. You'd have a more realistic approach or understanding of how a marriage is going to go, right? So we have a page where you can view, unlike the Pop the Balloon shorts, we have a page where you can see successful marriages, people that have successfully proved they met, they did it the right way, they got counsel from leadership, they had people involved in the selection process, the proving process, all the way up to the marriage. So like in Hebrews 13:4, it says marriage is honorable and all. Listen, we all get to partake in that glory of a good union happening, right? So the husband and the wife are partaking in the union itself, and the community, we're coming together to celebrate too. Listen, I'm already married, but if you get married, I'm about to come to your marriage, I'm a party. I'm a party like I'm getting married, but I'm going to slap you on the back and be like, bro, you did it. All praises. Marriage is honorable in all. We all get to partake in that honorable thing that you did as a man when you learned how to lead and prepared yourself to provide, and when the woman, when she learned as a woman to be a helpmeet and to submit to her Lord, right? So look at some of the examples on the screen. If you take the page and scroll down and see examples of pictures, screenshots, videos, just if you scroll down and the first video you see, just click it. Scroll down. If you go to this page on your own, you can see video clips, pictures. I want you to pay attention to some of the difference you saw in just the screenshots and the thumbnails. Now, remember the interview we played earlier about the man and the woman that went out, and look how they were behaving and the body language. Look at the body language of some of the pictures you just saw. Successful, godly men finding godly women because they did it the godly way, right? Last script, Tobit chapter 8, verses 6-9. When you're proving a friend, it's if they believe in this Bible. Are you going to agree together? Is the man learning how to lead and provide? Is the woman learning how to be a helpmeet and to submit? And all y'all going to be in it for the long run? Are you going to grow old together? The book of Tobit, chapter 8, verses 6-9.
Tobit, chapter 8 and verse 6. Thou madest Adam and gavest him Eve.
We read that earlier, that Eve was made as a helpmeet for Adam, right? So Tobit is bringing that up after he gets married. Read.
and gave himself Eve, his wife,
Uh-huh.
for an helper.
For a what?
For an helper.
For a helper. Sisters, it's okay. It's what the Lord made you for. This is not a bad thing. Read.
And stay. Of them came mankind.
Come on.
Thou hast said, it is not good that man should be alone.
So, brothers, it's not good for you to be alone. Listen, you out there, you on your hustle, you on your red pill grind, you on your black pill grind. What are you amassing all this stuff for anyway? So you got this house and money and property, and you got all your materials, and you got your big castle and your playhouse of stuff. And then when you drop dead, what you gather all that stuff for? Who is there to pass it on to? Who is there that can take that stuff in and use it to continue on in life and then view you as the remembrance of that provider you was? Because even after a man passes on, our ability to provide should still be evident. We should still be providing in some way, right? A righteous man leaves inheritance for his kids. What scriptures talk about? Can you read it?
It is not good that man should be alone.
Come on.
Let us make unto him an aid like unto himself.
An aid like unto himself. Read.
And now, O Lord, I take not this my sister for lust.
I didn't take her for what?
For lust.
So he didn't take her just because she's attractive. So we talked about earlier, yes, the physical plays a part, but that can't be why you decided to commit, right? Read.
I take not this my sister for lust.
Come on.
But uprightly.
But up what?
But uprightly.
Uprightly, meaning your intentions are pure. You're not planning to hit it and quit it. You ain't planning to dine and dash. You ain't trying to leave. You ain't looking for an escape route because y'all did it the correct way. You intend for this to go all the way. Read.
Therefore, mercifully ordained that we may become aged together.
Become aged together. That should be the goal, right? So in summary, we got to stop the balloon. Don't pop the balloon. Stop the balloon. Let's learn how to build relationships properly so that we can get the results needed to rebuild our nation and to come back to serving the Most High God. All right? And with that, we say shalom.